So hi and welcome yet again to the LvL Up Podcast. I am your host, Mr. KG Habiani, and today I'm joined by Mike Lisko. Mike Lisko is from Flock Platform. It's an eventing platform taking us into this virtual spaces. We're going to be sharing with you guys what this virtual world is all about, what these events have moved to, have morphed into, and what they're looking at now. Mike, how you doing?
Hey KG, I'm all good. How you doing, brother?
I'm all good, Mike. It's a pleasure to have you here, man.
Yeah, what an honor to be on the LvL Up podcast. Looking forward to listening to many more of these series.
Of course, and we're looking to having you here quite a few times because you have quite an expansive portfolio. You've been doing quite a bit, especially during lockdown. I know you've done some amazing things that we'll touch on a little later into our conversation. But first things first, Mike. I read somewhere that you are a DJ, part-time, music fan, music lover of sorts. Please tell me a little bit about that, man.
Indeed. Hip-hop and drum and bass, liquid drum and bass is very close to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
So your sources are right. I started DJing out in high school on the radio station that we had at high school.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there it progressed into throwing parties on weekends.
Yeah.
Hosting quite a number of events and then opening a business through the events side of things. So yeah, there was a awesome time during school and university that I did that.
And this was still in your varsity years when you opened the company?
That's correct, yeah. So
wow.
From school, started throwing events. I got like a 5,000 Rand loan from my parents to buy some speakers, equipment.
Okay.
Got an old school turntable. I used to do the scratching and the body
Sounds very familiar, man. You're talking to me and you share like kind of a similar story, right?
Hip-hop heads. So yeah,
man.
So basically through the events, started a company. Just I saw a need for some entertainment happening in the Vaal Triangle where I grew up, and it exploded. Went from 100 people coming to some events to some of our biggest events being over 10,000 people.
Oh wow!
Which we hosted on an annual basis, the back to school party, which was quite an interesting time, a journey growing up in Vaal.
And coming from the Vaal, man, I mean, I know quite a few rappers, MCs, actually MCs. Let's separate the language here. So the MCs from Vaal, because you guys have like a deep appreciation for the art of hip hop and for the art of music, that is, But Mike, tell me something. This company that you started back in your high school years, varsity years actually, what was it called?
So it was Hot Soup Entertainment, and ran that. She's from first year university for about 10 years. So did a multitude of various music events, lifestyle events, promotions, brand showcases.
Sure.
And it was a very, very cool time. Yeah.
And now all of this has now morphed into this very beautiful thing that you call Flock Eventing Platform. So what is Flock and why Flock? Why that name? It's quite interesting because when you came across it the first time, you're like, what is this Flock about? So here's the man in the flesh to explain to us what is Flock Eventing Platform.
Sure. So the name came about around people flocking to your event with the use of our software. Essentially, Flock provides an online platform for event organizers to easily communicate and engage with their attendees.
Yeah.
How they do this is to create mobile apps, communication channels, and event landing pages on our easy-to-use platform. So we've done the heavy lifting. You don't need any coding. You drag and drop elements. And within a matter of minutes, you can have your own custom branded mobile app or an event page. So we've been going since 2013. Through the event side, I saw a need for some digital tool to help attendees navigate. And I did a bit of coding in school, so that's where the love of tech came about.
Oh, I love that, man. And I know we were speaking a little bit earlier about just tech in SA. I mean, in Africa, for lack of a better example, just to expand it a little bit more to all of our people who are in the continent with us. But the one thing that, we found, obviously, in our company, we also involved heavily with the tech and virtual tools and experiences and giving people the sort of newer age technologies. But there's a slight resistance that we always meet. Could you touch on that a little bit? How have you found challenges or successes with Flock, especially during the past couple of months of COVID?
Yeah, I think the the time that we're going through has definitely changed people's perspectives on how to do these online events. It's never going to replace that physical interaction that you have with someone. But since April, we've done over 250 online events.
Oh, wow.
So we've seen, it depends, KG, on the objective of the event.
Sure.
Seen some very cool 3D elements and virtual reality environments and worlds, which I think has its place depending on the objective of the event. So to answer your question, I think it all comes down to what the client is trying to achieve. It could be an hour podcast or an hour webinar, or it could be a showcase or a full, week of like a conference or exhibition. So depending on the objective, we would recommend a certain solution. So, it's been very interesting to see what has come out and the innovations. Even the stuff that you guys are busy with is really
sure.
Cool.
I mean, we also hitting some walls here and there. But, for the most part, I think what we're enjoying is introducing or showing people what's out there in the world, and seeing the reaction from people overseas talking about, okay, there are people in Africa that are interested in stuff like this. So there is definitely a connection that comes across, but we just, slightly working towards now getting people more comfortable. I think that's the appropriate word, because people are not yet comfortable with these technologies, So how do I now get this on my machine? I have to go through so many blocks and so many people have to approve things for me to be able to use it. But then another interesting layer that has now been added to the event space that we're talking about right now is everything is now, or not everything, there's a term now called a hybrid event. I mean, we used to have like, our normal face-to-face, and then we'd have it on a Zoom or a Skype or whatever, but now hybrid. What do they mean by hybrid event?
So hybrid is a term that's used for a physical event and a online component. It's been popularized recently, but it has been around for some time. Even in 2015, we were utilizing the use of live streams at events. So when cameramen are essentially recording everything on the different stages, we streamed it into our mobile app. And this allowed for some people that weren't physically at the event to be able to still see that content and engage with other attendees. That was back in 2015, and it was through a company that we were able to do work in over 23 countries.
Oh, wow.
Through something like that. So it shows you the power that that reach to a global audience you can have. Essentially, smaller event, physical, but then your reach online is so much wider.
And do you feel now that we have this connectivity, we can connect with people literally from anywhere in the world, really. As long as you have a smartphone or a laptop and you're connected to the internet, you can easily reach anything and be accessible anywhere. So do you think people are now trying to spread the events a lot more out there? Are we keeping them still, trying to keep them contained and private? Or do you see them growing out to be like, okay, well, we are South African, but then why not sell our tickets in Nigeria? Why not sell our tickets in Jamaica? Why not sell them in the Netherlands, for example?
Yes. I think it all comes down to the content of that specific event. You may find someone very interested in what we have to offer, maybe from a tourism showcase, or if it is some innovation that we're doing locally as well. I've found myself attending international events online and happily paying to join them. It's some great content, specifically around the no-code environment, where you don't need to build these platforms with developers. You can use no-code platforms that exist. So those sorts of conferences interested me. I think for a lot of people out there, if they're sometimes event organizers feel that they can't charge for their events. So I know that has been quite a popular question on how can they monetize online events. I think it really comes down to the content. If there's some valuable content that your audience is going to gain, then they'll most probably be very happy to pay for it. And there's other ways of saying that if you can't physically attend online, you can always have the post-event recordings
exactly
at a reduced price, and that we've seen is also very popular.
So you've done like now, so I'm like going back now to your college and high school years as like a DJ. So you've done paid events at the gate, pay me 50 Rand to get in. You've done events like at a place like at the Dome, okay, pay X amount on CompuTicket. And now, man, you like flying with the stuff. Now you've got this virtual and you're selling after tickets or catch-up tickets or actually on the day kind of events type of tickets. So there's been a lot of groundwork that you've covered. Can I just ask, man, where do you get all this inspiration and when do you get the time to do all of this? Is there a team behind you that's inspiring? Is there a woman maybe at home who's like, just, I understand you're not sleeping, but I know you're going to get the money. Like, what drives you, man? What is the inspiring thing that Mike Lisko wakes up every morning and is like, you know what, this is what I'm doing and I'm going to stick to it?
Yeah, I think KG, coming from an eventing background, you need to be a special type of person, have that energy. If you are in the events, hospitality industry, I was reading somewhere that the events coordinator, I think, is like the 5th most stressful job in the world. And it's easy to understand that. So you need that level of energy to be in this industry.
Okay.
I think where I get my inspiration from is definitely just waking up and setting a purpose for the day, and knowing that you're at least achieving that purpose or being grateful at the end of the day that, you're able to at least achieve that purpose. Have an exceptional team behind me as well. So the flock stars, as I like to call them.
Nice.
Some amazing A players on the team. So it's great to have a great team. And I think having a partner that also understands is very helpful and inspires me too.
Of course. Well, Mike, man, I mean, we coming to the end of 2020 right now. It's been a long, tough one. And on our last episode with Helen, we teach and coach people on mindfulness. And one of the key things, I think, for this year is people are really tired and stressed out. So I want to know, man, how do you relax? How do you recover? Like, what's your full stop, as you call it, at the end of the day? Or let's call it at the end of this year. What are you looking to do to kind of restore your energy and just reconnect with yourself?
Yeah, I think taking time out during the day, in the morning as well, to set that intention and purpose for the day does help. I spend about 10 minutes every morning meditating, which clears your brain for the day ahead. And then in the evenings, just reflecting on a couple of things that you're grateful for. So that just gets you in a positive way. Otherwise, you can let the stresses affect you in life, and just focus on that, and you attract more of that to yourself. So that's the way I tend to do it. And then exercise, man. Just really exercising.
Definitely exercise, huh?
Just to get rid of that stress and revitalize that energy.
There we go, guys. So Mike is saying, guys, meditate, at least take like a little 5-10 minutes out of your day in the morning, sit in silence, just let those energies like calm you down, man, and then get your day going. But of course, Mike, we still have you here. And what I want to know is, do you have any advice for our events organizers? I know that's kind of those are your people, you do what you do for them pretty much. So what is your kind of advice, for people, maybe like myself, I'm trying to do an event in December and I'm like, geez, okay, where do I even get started? Do I make it virtual? Is it hybrid? Do I just rent out a venue and space people out in cages, or how do I do this?
Yeah, hopefully not cages. Stay away from cages. But yeah, I think to really sit down around what is the objective that you're trying to achieve with this event. Don't lose hope that there's no physical events. There's definitely where there's a will, there's a way. We saw KG from discussions and conversations we had with clients and potential clients around April, May. Some were very hesitant to move into the virtual space, but over the past few months, they've seen that they can achieve that objective that they were trying to set out. So if you're trying to host an event, look at the objective, the budget that you've got as well, and don't be scared to try this virtual approach. I think there's a lot of positivity that can come from it. It may not replace that physical interaction, but it's definitely a way of keeping that momentum going, of still keeping that engagement going.
And I mean, I hear you talking about budget. And I mean, in case you guys don't know, thinking about budget is you're not going to be spending money on any food. So you are saving quite a bit, But I do get that little bit of hesitation. I think it's more on the tech side of it. How people are, just the comfortability and the usability of whatever experience you're trying to create.
Definitely. And I think when you're looking for a service provider, just speak to them, ask them the right questions around, what do you do in terms of internet connectivity with speakers that are online? Do you have a studio where something like you guys have, it's a professional place to do your recordings from? Is there a backup plan when the speaker goes offline? Do you have his presentation? Do you have a pre-recording perhaps? Do you have a support team or a communication channel for attendees that are struggling to get onto the platform? How do they engage?
Yes.
Because remember, now you've got someone at home that may have a very different internet connection to someone else, or a technical ability to someone else. So that communication plan going out is very important. So to event organizers, just ask all these questions to your potential service provider. We've got a great ebook coming out in December, which is around hybrid events and how you can host the most successful hybrid event. So,
and how do we get a hold of this ebook?
So follow us on social media, Flock Platform across different channels. You can also go to our website, www.flockplatform.com, and you'll be able to see information around there. So, yeah.
Awesome, man. So, Mike, I know I've got one more thing to ask you, man.
Awesome.
You've got ambitions of getting out there and, spreading Flock out to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
What's next for Flock? Are we going to see Flock popping up in any other country besides SA in the future?
Yeah, so we do have a presence in over 36 countries that we've done work for.
Yeah.
I think we'll be definitely expanding across European markets.
Nice.
So like to see how that goes. I think with South Africa as well, we're growing the team. The sky's the limit, really. So
nice.
Definitely taking a global approach.
Man, I appreciate this time that you spent with us. And of course, guys, you're looking for Mike Lisko. You can find Mike himself, follow Flock Platform across all social media platforms. Are you on Facebook? You on Twitter?
We're on Facebook,
Instagram?
Twitter, LinkedIn as well. We post some good content weekly. We post helpful articles and tips and tricks as well.
There we go. There you have it, guys. So all you event organizers out there, if you need a piece of advice, Mike is here for you. So you can reach out to him, maybe reach him on LinkedIn, reach him on the social media. His team is also awesome. I mean, we've had some interaction with the guys, guys like Kelly. Shout out to Kelly if you get to hear this also. And hey, man, from the LvL Up Podcast, my name is KG yet again. Thank you for joining in. We will be dropping another episode. You can catch us on Thursdays. We are on Iono FM for now, and we'll be updating you as we add on to more streaming sites. So, Mike, really appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much.
And to our tribe, peace and love.